Hey everybody, I'm back with Jolt, Drizzle, and Big Sam. I mean, Samus Aran. Sorry, I don't know why I said Big Sam.
Why did he say Big Mike?
We'll never know. The world may never know.
Forgot about that.
Alright, classic Chansey moment. What the hell was I doing again?
I don't remember.
We just fought Ice
I
Boss
think.
Man. No, we
Oh,
fought Mechanical Boss Man. Let's see if the
I
map has
thought
anything.
that we just got the. Have I missed an episode here?
I believe you've missed many episodes.
Yes.
No, but the most recent one.
I don't know.
Yes. I'm gonna
But,
assume yes.
okay, yeah.
If you don't know what Mechanical Boss is, then yeah.
Well, what I remember most recently is taking down the turrets.
What's the help button? 2. Oh, doesn't help me. Oh wait, where's
Like,
the logbook? That's what I need. The Federation landing site. Planet Skytown, Elysia. Maybe if
Thank
I
you,
read
quest
that,
log.
I'd get helped out a lot.
Well, that's a new thing. They didn't have that before, so.
Yeah, but I just need to know which planet. Well, it looks like we don't have it available yet, so I should probably go find it.
Yeah, so probably the one we're on currently, since it's the only one, would make
Nah,
sense.
this was named a different thing. I think we need to find this one.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the Shadow Complex video of ours just went up where we commented
Mm.
about how you say those two things and how iconic it is.
I am a gaming icon, thank you.
I agree. Uh, where's the logbook? So we need the Federation landing. Oh, we need to find it. So it's on the eastern side of Skytown. You can reach it from the Western Skytram.
Oh,
Ah, that's right. We beat the guy so that we could get control of it again. Yes, yes. Up, up, and away. Alright, Pride Month is over, so, you know.
fuck the liberals.
Yeah, that's right.
In a totally straight way. You gotta fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wake up,
Any other
liberal, I
way,
made
and it's
breakfast for
illegal.
you. Did you guys do anything special for Pride Month?
Uh,
I
I
didn't have
was
sex.
no more or less particularly gay than I normally am.
Wow, so you pretended it doesn't exist. Great job.
Yeah.
Uh, I read the book Swords Point, and that book is quite gay. Well, it's actually quite bi.
Thank you. Thank you for your recognition.
Weirdly enough, it doesn't happen all that much.
Which the funny thing is, like, it was advertised as like, oh yeah, there's gay characters in it. It's like, well, maybe you didn't read it all the way through. There's a bunch of bi characters in it.
It's always what they mean, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think any of the characters were strictly gay. I think they were all bi. But it was pretty good. It was a book about sword fighting, and I want to say it was like a little bit before Rena. It was like Middle Ages. I'm pretty sure it was a somewhat timeless, not timeless setting because it didn't have phones, but you know, it was that old-fashioned one. It was a pretty good book. It was very well written. It's a little above my not it's not above my reading level. I still understood everything, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't read anymore. And me just
Mm.
getting back into it, I was like, ah, yes, I forgot what it is like to actually read a book.
I've been going to this place. I'm sure I said it before. The suckers give the books away for free, called the library.
It's true. They give you free
Yeah,
Wi-Fi too.
it's kind of crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
I read through Blood Meridian, which is a book where like I can't recommend to people because like it's not a book where you're like you read it and you're like if you read Blood Meridian you say I know someone who would like this book, they're probably literally the most awful person in the world.
Oh,
Like it's one of those books
maybe I should give it a read.
where
Damn.
it's one of those books where everyone is the bad guy. Like there
Ah,
is no good guy. Everyone is some degree of awful. So like you're not supposed to like it in like that way, you know?
yeah, it's just supposed to be compelling.
It it is an
The fanfic
interesting
authors will not go near it.
it is an interesting dive into the dehumanizing nature of violence is how I would describe it.
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun.
But yeah, I liked question mark the book. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
But also the author like come on, quit stroking it, bro. Some of those words that you use like who the fuck uses the word fatum betuli? Or no,
I want to use that word now.
Fatum Ignis, excuse me. Fatum Betuli is a game that
Oh,
I've
that's
played.
lame.
You're a fucking Fatum Ignis.
And like
I
I
know
know what
4
it
Fatums and you're Ignis of them.
and like because I played the game Fatum Betula, I knew what the phrase meant. And I was like, I know what that means. Why would you use that? No one like it means like false fires. And it's like referring to the sunset and the way it like, you know, how the sun is at sunset
Sun's
across the
real.
sky. No, like the way like the light spreads across clouds and stuff at that like.
Ooh, that's a good word choice. Yeah.
But no, it's not because fucking nobody's gonna know what that means.
I don't know. I think it should be kept around if it can. I think everyone's vocabulary has gone down, me included, but yeah, I don't know. It could be nice to preserve some cool words like that.
They're not even English words.
Well,
It's just Latin.
but Latin's cool.
I just feel like if you straight up said false fires or something like that, I feel like there's ways to be descriptive using the English language. Even using simpler language, but that's not even necessarily my gripe with his writing style. He also doesn't use quotation marks,
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, I've heard that.
which is like a thing that everyone praises about his style. I'm like,
No, that
why?
sounds so
Bad.
fucking horrible.
But yeah, if you've ever read and like actually read and engaged with and thought about the book Moby Dick, it is very similar to that book in like the way it's written, the style, just how deep the themes are. Where you read it and you're like, I am not gonna actually understand this book the first time I read it.
Right. Haven't scanned this? Need advanced movement system. I need the 3D platformer upgrade.
Hmm. So I
Let's-
read that. I finished reading The King in Yellow.
Ooh,
Um, I read. Trying to think of what all I've read this year because I
Well,
know
now you're
there's
just
more.
flexing on me. I haven't read that much.
Yeah. No, I like reading. Sorry.
No, stop liking it.
I'm reading a book called Madhouse at the End of the Earth, which is about, or at least I thought it was about the first successful Antarctic explorations. But now that I'm reading it, I don't think they might have even been successful. I think it's just about a particular Antarctic exploration that was interesting. And yeah, the story it's nonfiction, it's really cool, but it's like kind of told and written as though it was a story, but it's all of
Yeah,
course
it's like a
sourced.
narrative.
It's sourced, yeah, it's a narrative travel historical
Yeah, I mean, it's
document.
like making a movie about a real event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also it has like interspersed. It has like certain chapters where it's just the primary sources, like just like two different people's journal entries, and that gives you a very interesting perspective. But yeah, I'm really liking the book. There was a very funny part where the guy who heads this expedition is like, man, how do I get, like, I just want to do this shit because, like, I want to go there because it's cool, you know? Like, being an adventurer and explorer, that shit's tight. How do I sell this to people? And at first he's like, well, like, if we make it like a science thing, you know, like, we just happen to take some scientists along and they catalog it, like, that's cool. Like, we like that, you know? That's part of the adventure as well. But they're like, yeah, but scientists don't have money.
True.
Because
Really don't.
they also have to get grants from people. She's like, fuck, what do we do? And this is like 1920s, like early 1920s.
Ooh.
And the guy is like, you know, nationalism's really on the rise. I'm going to sell this as a nationalist endeavor for my country of Belgium. And
I thought you were about to say my country of Germany.
no. Well, he's close by, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the man was right, you know? Very, very good foresight that man had. And the whole time things are happening, he's like, man, I had to fire 2 Belgians that I had working on my ship, which is going to look really bad in the presses back home. Because, like, I had to tell them that this was for Belgium. And now there's less Belgian people than there are foreigners working on my ship.
This says a lot about our society.
It really does.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really liking that book. It is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of situational comedy in this like very tragic and harrowing experience. Like that whole like nationalism one, for example. I was like, that's funny. Like, the man was right. Like he was seeing a couple years into the future. But yeah, the whole time it's like very obvious. He's like, yeah, he really doesn't care about Belgium all that much. Like as a nationalistic endeavor. He just kind of wanted to go on an adventure.
This is so strange.
What?
Maybe it's that door.
I also started recently reading some books here, or listening to. I, of course, do a lot of audiobooks.
Ah.
That probably doesn't count
I
anymore,
don't.
but whatever.
It counts. It's just I can't remember anything if I read an audiobook.
Well, one of the issues with that might be that you're not you don't. Never mind. That's just stupid.
I mean,
Well,
you're right.
Well, then I'll say something that's actually not stupid and interesting and kind of maybe related to what you were going to say. So, like, there's several studies conducted on, like, reading versus listening. And almost all of them, in all situations, find that, like, the benefits of reading far outweigh the benefits of listening in terms of, like, recall. And it's not even necessarily just because of reading. It's, like, the more physical a process is, the better your mind can remember it.
Makes
So, like,
sense.
so, like, if you were typing with a keyboard on a phone, and you typed on a keyboard on a phone with tactile feedback, like the tactile feedback you would learn the keyboard better.
Really?
Stuff like that. Yeah. Just like anything. Who the fuck? I'm not picking up that number. This one number keeps calling me, and I'm not picking it up. It's not a real number. Don't leave a
Just one
voicemail
number.
if
Is
it's.
it 6?
Yeah, it's this. No, it's like the area code and then just all zeros.
Is it
Like,
7?
no.
Because you know why
No.
6 is afraid of 7.
No, I don't. Please explain.
War crimes.
White phosphorus.
What do I do now? Let's see. Let's look at the logbook.
But yeah, even more so, there was a study that was talking about like public speaking or just like talking, writing speeches, stuff like that in general.
Yeah.
And it also found that just reading speeches is better than listening to them.
Huh.
Like it
Interesting.
improves your vocabulary and your ability to speak clearly more than listening to other people speak.
Oh no, what was
What you're
this?
trying to say is, never mind. That's mean.
Reading is a cheat code.
Yeah, it's actually cooler to only listen to books because then you're playing on hard mode.
I mean, it makes sense too, because like reading, you have to invest more, not even just like the physical aspect, but like you have to literally process the words one to one in your brain directly.
Oh yeah.
And it's, it's using sight, it's using your internal monologue, also the physical stuff. There's just more involved in it. But yeah, I just read on my breaks at work for the most part. Then like sometimes if there's like a longer chapter and I don't want to break it up in a book, I'll read that at home.
Makes sense. But yeah, the books I've been reading are The Assassin's Apprentice and The Royal Assassin, if you've ever heard of them.
No, I've only heard of Ranger's Apprentice.
Gotcha. Good books. Very good ones. Um, Kind of go into a lot about parenthood, what it means to. I don't know, they're just really good political fantasy books. Political intrigue fantasy books, that is.
Hmm.
Love those.
Yeah, Swords Point was also a lot of political intrigue. It's funny,
You'll have.
one of the obviously since George R. R. Martin read it and recommended it, that was the one that they put like on front of the book that they
Yeah.
were really advertising because they're like, oh yeah, people know him. See, he likes it, and
Mhm.
he seemed really impressed by it and said like, oh yeah, this is really well written. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I've read your books and this is a little bit better written to be honest. So I see why you say that. But I think he's always been good about like praising other good writers. Which that does wrap around back to the topic I wanted to bring up is have you seen those people who are like there's definitely a huge culture war of like Tolkien versus George R. R. Martin.
I have not
Really?
I have not seen this, no.
Oh yeah, people are
Oh, yeah,
this is on
because.
Bird app so it's not real, but
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
of
I mean,
course.
of course. We're talking about, yeah, internet sub-community bullshit.
But
That's, yeah.
isn't it like, if I remember correctly, because I think I actually have heard of this, it's like people are more angry with George R. R. Martin because it's like,
it
oh
depends.
yeah, he's slightly more realistic and stuff. And,
So
like,
it's is it better to have objective good and evil, or is it better if everything is moral gray and it's just like realistic
I'm
and
I'm
depressing?
gonna I'm
There's
gonna
no
give
right
you
answer.
I'm gonna give you my brave stance, my hot take. They're both good.
Yes, that's mine too. Is they are both different kinds of
they're
good.
both really good.
Uh, so yeah, it really pisses me off when people are like, "No, this is the way you should write this. There is only one way to do it."
Hmm.
Which honestly, George R. R. Martin actually says that a couple times, where he describes some things in his book as like, "Yeah, I mean, I just looked at what I had and I'm like, I have to write it like this. I don't want to, but I have to." And I'm like, "No, you don't. You're entirely in control of whether you do that or not."
I had to make all these characters like 14 and 15.
There's
I
no other
had
way.
to. There was no other
That
way.
is an issue that my book also runs into.
Well, if it's
But
like
that's
medieval, I get it.
uh, still doesn't make me any more
Yeah, I'm
comfortable with
in
it.
the case of well, you're not. I mean, it's like I was saying about Blood Meridian. Like, it is not a book where you're supposed to like those things. You're not supposed to feel comfortable with it. It's kind of the point. especially if you're going for that more realistic portrayal of like medieval Europe,
Yeah, I mean, it's the
where
same
it's
with Game
like,
of Thrones, which, to
hey,
its
yeah,
credit, does a very good job of saying, like, hey, this is the topic that they're going through, but like, he's good at framing it as a bad thing,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is that's the only important thing to do.
You really kind of got to say, hey,
The only time it
don't
becomes
do
like
that.
super weird, as in weird in the context of what it's written, is I would say more so in the objective good and evil, where if you have like that kind of stuff in a and you don't portray it as objectively evil, it's like, well, what did you mean by this?
Yeah.
What 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 was going on here?
That was another thing I was seeing go around was, if you have something that's bad in your book, then it needs to face some kind of... It needs to be challenged, essentially. So if, like,
No,
the characters ever do
not
something bad, then that needs to be specifically challenged.
not I agree but don't. I think it should be
Same.
challenged, but I don't think it needs to be directly like you don't need to
It
dedicate a
doesn't need to be
chapter.
addressed,
It
exactly.
does, yeah,
You
you
don't
don't
need
need
to
to
have them
dedicate
stand on a
something.
soapbox and
Hmm.
talk about why it's wrong. You just need to do a good job of framing it as bad
Uh
with details.
Subtext, very important in books.
Yep.
Also,
Unfortunately, I just... You don't have to explicitly say it, just keep it in mind.
Yeah.
yeah, subtext, it's
I
important.
also think some things, like, eh, nobody that you should consider the opinion of really thinks that violence is good. So if it's a war book, you don't need to go on telling us the whole time that violence is bad.
Yeah,
We kind of get
per
it.
permissibility of violence is like some is a conversation that like should probably be strictly reserved for like academic contexts.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not like, yeah, just if I'm watching Inglorious Bastards, I don't need to. Nobody needs to come up and say, "Listen, I know they're Nazis, but the violence is bad." It's like, no, you can just kind of kill them.
It just reminded me of something on Bird app or X app. There was somebody who tweeted out, God, I just reread All Quiet on the Western Front. It really kind of tells you about how in World War II,
Oh.
there
Uh,
weren't necessarily all bad Nazis. And
Well,
everybody was like, I think you need to reread that and learn how to count, maybe? Because,
man incorrectly yet correctly discovers that sometimes children are sent to fight other people's battles for no fucking
yes,
reason.
At least they learned the right lesson
at,
from
le-
it.
at least,
at
well,
least she identified one of the main themes.
he actually didn't because the way that that's worded, it was just like, no, actually, some of the Nazis were okay, which isn't necessarily what I said. I'm actually reading more into his phrasing than he gave. He might not have come to that realization for all I
And I'm
know.
paraphrasing, obviously.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
here's
yeah.
here's the interesting question, because obviously not every single person in 1940s Germany was a bad person, because
Yeah,
Oh
some
like
of them
well,
Schindler.
fought against their own political party.
well. I mean, also if you said that, it's like, oh, okay, so they were right to kill the Jews who were trying to flee Germany.
No,
Like
that's why I didn't say Nazis. I said persons in Germany, because
that's
there were
what.
Jews
Yes,
in
yes,
Germany.
yes, exactly. That's we're both getting at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I need to figure out what to do because the logbook just says to go do what I did. Or I think it's saying to go find the site, and the only thing I think I can do, because it says the Western Skytram. So it should be all the way over here at the east side. It should be this, but the only way to get in there is that wall jump thing, I assume. And I don't have that. And I
So
don't know
then we
where...
gotta look for the wall jump.
But that's not what the quest book says to do.
Well, why would the Federation know you need a wall jump?
That's a good question.
Hmm.
Maybe there's a conspiracy.
Checkmate. Liberals.